What's going on, everybody? Chelsea Sherrod here. It is March, the best time of the year for college hoops, so we are bringing back our Court Vision series to talk all things March Madness. And of course, we also welcome back Scott Spinelli, former interim head coach at Boston College. Coach, it's been a long season. It's good to see you.
Thanks, Chelsea. Great seeing you. We actually missed doing these shows. So much fun we had in the preseason and leading up to conference play. So it's great to be back with you.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun too. All right, Coach. So we know who the top seeds are in each division. You have Gonzaga in the West, Baylor in the East, Kansas in the Midwest, and Arizona in the South. The Zags are the overall #1 seed. But aside from these major players, who is a sleeper team that could make a deep run or come out of each region?
Well, starting with the East, I think you got to look at St. Mary's, another team out of the West Coast Conference. You know, they're an older team, Chelsea, that's built on, guys who have come up within the program. And we've talked about that quite a bit, especially early on when we started the Court Vision show series. They're a team that's already beaten Gonzaga once. And so they're built with that, defensive mindset. They're physical, they're older. They're also a very capable offensive team with a lot of different weapons. I think St. Mary's is a team that you have to keep an eye on as a sleeper team coming out of the East. This is not going to be fun for the New England people listening to, but South Dakota State, who actually is playing Providence in that first game, has won 21 games in a row. And they're a team that averages 86 points a game. They're the #1 three-point shooting field goal percentage team in the country at 46%, and they do it from all 5 positions. I just think Providence, who's had an unbelievable season, Big East regular season conference, has a really tough matchup against a team like South Dakota State.
Okay, I would be remiss to not mention Murray State. Shout out Ja Morant. They have 30 wins on the season, so you've got to take them seriously. Okay, Coach, what is one game from each region that you are looking forward to watching this upcoming weekend?
Well, let's start with the East. I think that Texas-Virginia Tech game is really interesting because you have 2 different programs built 2 different ways. Texas is a team that's, Coach Beard is, coming in. He really has emphasized, dipping into that transfer portal. They have a lot of 4-star, high-ranked recruits on their team, and they're built with defense. They're physical. Tech is built differently. Although they have, some transfers, most of those kids were from mid-major programs, and a lot of those kids have come up within, especially with Coach Young being at Woolford. A couple of those guys came with him, and they're built on mid-major experience with skill. Very interesting matchup. Obviously, Tech coming off the ACC tournament championship, they're going to have a lot of confidence, but that will be an interesting game to watch.
All right, what about West Region matchups that you're looking forward to this weekend?
I think sticking with that Michigan State-Davidson game. Again, I think Michigan State and Coach Izzo and their program has been so successful in the NCAA tournament. You're facing a team like Davidson who, even lost one of their best players, Kellen Grady, as a transfer. He went to Kentucky, but their 3-point shooting, their skill, they're so well coached. So I think that's another interesting matchup to watch first weekend.
Okay, what about the Midwest, Coach? You've got some matchups like San Diego State and Creighton. Those look good.
Well, those 8-9 games, Chelsea, as a coach, we would actually dread when I was at Texas A&M and we get that 8 or 9 seed. You're like, goodness, now you got to win, then you got to play the 1 seed. But again, I'm sticking to that, South Dakota State Providence game. I think that's going to be a really good game, and I think Coach Cooley and his staff have done an unbelievable job this year, winning the Big East regular season, as we've talked about. It's a game that I do think is going to be really fun to watch, especially watching an underdog team like South Dakota State and the way they play.
Yeah, Providence definitely looking to prove that they are worth the 4 seed, the highest seeding that they have ever gotten in the tournament. Okay, Coach, what about the South region?
Houston UAB is another game, Chelsea, that I think, again, you talk about a Houston team that's predicated on their toughness, how hard they play defensively. They really get out and pressure the ball. They are one of the better 3-point defensive, percentage teams in the country in terms of preventing the 3-point shot. UAB, again, can play in a variety of ways, But I think that's a really good matchup to watch against two teams that are coming off winning their conference tournaments. Kind of contrasting styles somewhat. Be a fun game to watch.
Okay, Coach, one matchup that I am looking forward to this weekend is Yale Perdue. You know how close the Ivy League is to my heart. Purdue is going to be a big test for Yale, but I'm definitely looking forward to that matchup this weekend. Okay, Coach, give me a New England program that you're going to have your eye on in the tournament.
Well, let's go back, Chelsea, to when we first started, doing our show. We talked a lot about the New England teams, and we talked about UConn. And, I think UConn, although they didn't finish 1 or 2, they've had a great season. And they're going in as a 5 seed in the NCAA tournament where, again, we've talked about their team being very versatile. They're deep. They've had some injuries throughout the season, but there's a team that I think is poised to make a run. And, we've got to talk about Yale and the job Coach Jones has done with his team, his program, tremendous showing in the Ivy League. That Ivy League was a lot more competitive than I think people probably thought. They beat a really good Princeton team, a really good Penn team. And, they're playing against a tough Purdue team. But again, I think Yale is going to be up for the challenge. That's going to be a really good game also.
Definitely. I have to agree with you on UConn there. I do think that Adama Sanogo is kind of looking for redemption after that Big East semifinal game. He didn't play the way that he wanted to. And also Providence. They're looking to kind of gain some of that respect back that they lost in the Big East tournament as well. Coach, it was so great to hear from you. Everyone, fill out your brackets or don't fill them out. Coach, we'll check back in with you after the second round. PNC Bank, helping to make banking easier.